single corner of the map right now. To London is Afro.
Oh my God, there are just a legion of players here. Peekaboo, I've been here the whole time. Oh yeah, it's not like either inside there, less than 30 seconds, and that bomb goes to boom. Scumpy finds one, the second as well. Here comes the push, pressure now from mid, Drazah. Shotzzy wins a big one. Shotzzy's got to stay alive. Shotzzy tries to make it that bit easier, but that's 3v1. Dashy all alone. Makes it a 3v2. They reach out. Bang! It is Championship Sunday, Texas! Let's get it! What an event this has been! What a show, what a spectacle! Thrills, chills, spills, you name it, we've had it all. And now, the final day. We're making history today, friends, and I cannot wait to get things started. For first time in a long time, we have London here on Sunday. But now, we also have our hometown heroes, OpTic. Who will walk away with the win? Let's find out. Without further ado, Texas, let's bring them out to the stage. You know them, you love them. Let's make some noise. Ladies and gentlemen, stand up, why not? Let's get on our feet. Let's get this going the right way. Ladies and gentlemen, OpTic Texas! Dashy, iLLeY, Shotzzy, Scump, Coach Rambo Ray.
Scump is ready to rock and roll, bro. He's got the hand warmers in hand, trying to keep his hands not from getting iced. And you know what? It's time to see if the curse is real. I think OpTic is going to take this series, Belly.
All right, Miles, everybody's on their feet right now, but London are ready to storm the stage.
London ready to storm the stage indeed, Villy. They're in unfamiliar territory. They've never seen anything like this, heard anything like this, and felt anything like this on a Sunday. Let's see what they're made of. Ladies and gentlemen, the London Royal Ravens. Afro, Gismo, Nastie, and Nero.
And an interesting team to be booing, right? Americans might be a little different than the Brits. I think the Brits will feed off that energy.
Miles, let's go ahead and get this show going, baby.
Teams are ready. Crowd, are we ready? You're a tiny little bit sleepy here on this Sunday. Are we ready? Let's get this show on the road. Lando Steady, take it away.
Thank you so much, Miles. Yes, it is about to be a banger of a championship Sunday, our first official one of our Vanguard year. Jay, it's going to be a fantastic series, our winners final. We talked about a number of different storylines in this matchup between OpTic Texas and the London Royal Ravens. One of the biggest things, as we said, it's a rematch from our Major 1 qualifier.
I'm so excited for this series, man. Obviously, OpTic, the way that they were able to handle that series versus Atlanta in the reverse sweep and then to get to 6-0 in Search and Destroy, that was insane from them. And on the opposite side for London, they're undefeated in hardpoint so far at this major. They're just playing so damn good. If you are OpTic, this map #1 is everything because for Royal Ravens, they're sitting at 4-1. They have a 61% break rate on this map. Ooh. And the last time that these two teams played, they also beat it by 100. So OpTic need to enter in this series early.
Yeah, they absolutely do. And the one thing that you have to consider when we are in an environment like this is that sometimes stats get thrown out the window. All of those things considered, we will see how our maps and modes are looking. It will be Berlin Hardpoint, Berlin Search Destroy, Gavutu Control, Tuscan Hardpoint, and if it can go the distance, a rematch on Bocage Search and Destroy, the same Game 5 that these teams had when they faced last time around. Here we go, folks. It is time. Match #1 of Championship Sunday. It's our first of the season. And what, Jay? Ant talked about it on the desk. Vetoes. We really like these for Ravens, especially considering how the Game 1 hardpoints have looked. They are 4-1 on this throughout the season.
And when we talk about a young roster, right, for this Ravens team, Zero the vet, but you got Afro, who's basically what? A 2-year player, a sophomore. 2 rookies on this team with a crowd like this. Confidence is important off the rip.
100%. And I think the most important player on that roster has to be Zero. He's going up against the green wall, not only on the stage, but in the fans as well.
Yeah.
He has to make sure that he's leading such a young team to success and also putting up that same performance that he had yesterday, a 1.38 in the series versus Toronto. But here we go. OpTic spawning on the better side into the P1 hardpoint.
As we said, a huge hardpoint already off the start, and it is Dashy drawing first blood, a guy who absolutely is in contention for MVP for this event. Hosts what, like a good 1.3, nearly a 1.4 KD. Impressive stuff to say the least, as Texas walking away with 20 unanswered points, but Nastie starting things off on a 4 spree.
Nastie's on a 4. But so far, OpTic are holding every single second. 25 seconds remaining on this hill. You have to start thinking about that rotation. Shotzzy's gonna win a huge one-on-one. All left up to Scump. He takes him down, takes down the second as well. So OpTic starting off this game with a flawless P1 hold.
And Gismo doing everything he can to hold off this rotation as well. It is going to be a nice 2v2. As Nastie will also shut down Scump in the meantime. So Ravens inside of the hill, but take a look at player number 1. Dashy is on the cross. He's prepared for the spawns. Nice long range shots out of Bruce, as he'll apply the pressure toward the back end. Meanwhile, it's OpTic beginning to rush in from the front. They're walking away with the kills, and now the Ravens, last 2 inside. Here comes the break, here comes the opportunity, and Texas will seize the advantage that they set themselves up for.
And now there's 40 seconds remaining on this hill. OpTic are in. But look at number 8 on your mini-map. He's gonna try to flip these spawns. Afro trying to make his way into fire. And OpTic are able to put a couple kills together. Continue growing this lead. Scump on fire to start this game. Able to take down 2 players. He was able to spot Afro as well, going for the 3rd. Not able to take him down, but London do flip the spawns. If you're OpTic, number 1 in Dashy has to try to work up on the street side.
Oh, and he gets dropped as well. Great position already for Ravens, especially if they can walk away with the final 10 seconds, not just getting the final points at library, but as well setting up for one of the best hard points on this very map and mode. But take a look at Shotzzy, maybe sneaking his way through. As we said, a big play, a huge hill, but information is going to be found. Shotzzy going to do his best to try to stay alive. Dodges and survives! And takes down Gismo in the process, trying to buy some time for Texas. As thankfully Nastie is there to shut him down. So Ravens with the early time, but OpTic are here, Jay.
Yeah, the spawns flip, so now OpTic just have to set up this push. Number 2 trying to attack through fire. iLLeY takes down 1. Multiple trades going down towards this back door. Only 2 players left from London. In this hill, Scump does find 2. Last player is going to be Zero. He gets taken down by Scump. Scump on a 3 spree.
Scump off to a great start. Nastie considering the next hard point. We'll see if he looks to push this. Maybe gain some information, take a few players down in stride. But as he falls, take a look at player 2. iLLeY's going to go for the rotation. Where are Ravens going to spawn? Okay, so they're going to spawn basically toward the back alley. And Shotzzy, he could read this. Does he get the good timing? No, he does not. Back and forth we go, and pretty much an even game as we head into our 4th hard point of the first set of rotations. London hanging in there. As we said at moments, OpTic Texas doing a great job at breaking through the setups, but London, another test, another opportunity. We'll see how they look to handle this. Pressured from either side as Nastie trying to stay alive, also trying to accrue points. And great teamwork there. The automatons firing well at drains.
So far, this has been the Ravens' best hill on this map. When it pops, they get a majority of like 25 to 30 seconds every time they get towards the P4 hardpoint. And this is why. They have a perfect setup. Gismo holding down the back spawns. Now you have a couple players from OpTic spawning out towards fire. And with 25 seconds left, OpTic cannot let them get all this time.
The crowd trying to get behind him. As Dashy now finds double digits in this game. Final 13 left for trains, and another big 1v1. Every second is big right now for Texas, but we will reset and now fly our way back in toward P5. But as we said, Jay, the Ravens, when it comes down to this moment in time, it's good to see them coming out as strong as they have looked. As we said, this is a team that you want to see answer early, considering the young players that they have got over in their camp. Let's go and step aside and see how the comms sound and what is a very, very big game for the OpTic side. Let's go to a listen-in with Texas.
Underneath this up.
Let's try.
One is underneath him.
I'm
trying to get time. Afro, we can set this up. We can set this up.
Yo, really big fire tank. Really big. He's going in fire. I'm long, guys. I'm long control. Go fire tank. Fire tank. He's going.
In post track.
Yo,
Watch out.
Are you? I'm saying now.
I need to write some time. Watch out, and I need to write some time.
What's alley me? What's alley?
I'm watching guys.
No, one's pushing up.
Yo, Gismo's are long and then one guy's
Yo,
behind.
Where's that?
Yo, sit down.
Yo, get these guys off phone.
Watch out. Put the bullet there, settled.
Get these guys off phone.
Dead.
Sit down.
One was class.
I could be more for you.
I went.
Last Dashy. Watch out, one outer.
It was. Watch long.
How are you?
He jumped out. Outer.
I'm gonna need help, boys. I'm just holding. I'm holding aLLeY. aLLeY on me. Just close aLLeY on me, boys.
We talk
Close aLLeY on me. He's just holding aLLeY.
Last dead. Over core Trey.
Are you?
Went. He's still
Where'd
getting.
he go? Yeah, I spawned right now. Yeah, I'm coming corner right now.
I'm over hill. No.
Gotta get to him.
Where's he?
What's that dead?
Nice.
Keep out of the door.
He's off his side.
Yeah, I'm absolute.
I don't see him.
He jumped out. Nice.
Long.
Are you?
I'm only watching under.
Are you? I'm on the.
Yo, yeah, we flipped.
Can you get it?
He's running back. I
Yo, really big guy. Really big.
Yeah, you
Try to kill the guy.
One guy's gate.
Come on.
Gate.
I'm right. I'm under. I don't see the other.
Nice, good win.
Help me out. Yo, long.
Where's he? Yo, one guy's deep street. Yo, stay alive.
Come on.
I'm one shot here.
Yo, I'm in close. I'm in close.
They're still alive there, Brandon.
Yo, long Gismo.
Are you? I'm in trap. Yo, he's still
Middle.
Are you?
I'm just only close.
I don't see anything at. Yo, outer on you.
Close that. Yo, what's up? Let's get top Prestinni. In new. He jumped down. He's low off P2.
I'm long right now. I don't see anything long.
Some overall good comms out of the OpTic Texas side. More specifically, they've got themselves back in the game. Shotzzy sits on a 5 spree. We got to listen in with OpTic Texas. Let's now check in with the Ravens.
Fire going from P5, I think, or their door. P5.
I've got your hot sandbags. Help me time, boys. Scump, myself. Just hide. Play kills. Push your ball. B1 dead. From P5. Build that time. Look at me, streets.
Get home.
His side stops. Back door. Illy dead.
Nice, get home. Nice.
Look at Dashy.
Yeah, that's fine. Listen, I have your top.
Back door. Dashy weak.
Stack kill. I have your top.
Nice, Jay. Towards front tip.
Their door need help.
How many set on?
Deep street, Illy.
Open.
Illy's on the truck. Don't. Listen, I'm hitting through. Play tight. Yeah, play this time. This is the time. Shotzzy dead at new.
Nice. I'm leaving you in, bro.
Listen, they're going to have to come back. No, but he's bought far.
Push out.
Dashy at new behind the back pillar.
Listen, I'm going far. He
was bought far. Give me close right.
I'm missing the guy's street, okay?
Yeah.
Go deep street view.
Hold on me, bro.
The fuck?
Whereabouts?
Nice, shit. Yo, listen, I'm shooting fire. I'm shooting fire. You ready? Push up. Oh,
I'm going low.
Go
I'm trying to watch deep street. I can't see him.
Listen, come to far.
He's that deep. He's that far deep. Couldn't see him. Deep, one shot. Sit up.
People, challenge you.
Illy dead. Fire dead.
Nice.
Let's go time. Back door. Shotzzy, back door. Together.
Needed it.
Shotzzy down. In front of me.
Keep watching front.
Win for boys. Give it a run.
I got you. Tom sounded beautiful from the Ravens side, especially Zero. He so far is just leading the way for his team. 20-13, setting up his young SMG players to hold it down properly. You saw right there with 20 seconds left, he was rotating towards Plat. He eventually dies, but he allows his teammates to get that P2 hardpoint uncontested. And right now, London, they are just rolling. 188 to 121. OpTic need to stop this bleeding.
Yeah, they're going to have to do so. And what? I mean, to start off the year with the Ravens, the conversation was almost on the weak link of Zero. How is he going to perform, right? How is he going to look, especially after the first few games? We knew that the confidence was going to be there in Nastie, Gismo, and Afro, but so far, Zero is leading by example for his young core, doing the best job that he can to get this franchise to the finals. A massive moment for OpTic Texas, a hill that can bring them back in this. The Ravens still lingering. Ravens still around. We'll see how OpTic looks to try to handle this, how they look to handle the pressure. Nice start from Zero. He instantly does rather get traded out. Dashy still holding on toward the top office. Still lingering, still hanging out. 30 valuable points left, but Gismo and Nastie combined for 2. Shotzzy decides to pull out the AR, but he falls as well. A hard point in which OpTic has struggled on previously continues to rear its ugly head. Ravens doing a great job at least contesting the hill, not allowing for OpTic to really get some seconds on it. Finally, the board does get wiped clean. Final 10 seconds as we prepare for our final hill of the second side.
And look at the play that iLLeY is trying to make. Only being down by 65 points currently. You want to try to flip these spawns so you can at least try to chain it towards that P1 hard point. But Nastie, he's putting a couple kills in the feed together. London are able to find 3. iLLeY last player up as the spawns do flip. If you are London, OpTic give up a lot of time on this P5 hard point. They can potentially close it out here.
It's all on to Texas. It's all on how OpTic look to play. There's so many variables. They have to worry about the time. They have to worry
about so many things. At this moment is 2 line up for iLLeY. Maybe a moment where some light begins to shine on through, but as he gets dropped as well, the time only continues to rack up for the Ravens. OpTic will finally break on in, but as we said, it cannot come in a more desperate time. Scump looks to try to pressure out the spawns as he gets taken down. Keep in mind, player number 6, Nastie, has made his way through the setup. He gets dealt with. The sweat off the brow type of situation if you're OpTic as they prepare for new. The flanks will only look to continue with Gismo. He gets dealt with as well. As we love to say, Jay, perfect hard point from this point on.
They need to make sure that they hold down this T1 for a full 60. And it all starts by just winning your gunfights. You see Zero, 30 and 17. One player in number 6 trying to go for the ultra flank, which is going to be Nastie. Scump does find one. Shotzzy just stalling out time. Just making Nastie waste a lot of time to try to pick up this kill, but so far OpTic, 40 seconds. They've got 20 uncontested. The pressure's coming in from the front. iLLeY and Dashy take down 2, and eventually Nastie and Gismo, they find 2 of their own. They break in.
Gismo finds 2, and just like that, the Ravens have close spawns. They get the squads right there. Only 3 more seconds. Texas have got to break on through. Scump drops as well, and that will be the game. London coming into OpTic Texas territory and walking away with the game 1 hardpoint, as we said, with a young roster like this. Coming out and having a statement type of performance was not just hopeful, it was necessary, and they get it done.
It all came down to that P2 hardpoint when London, they were controlling the spawns towards back warehouse. They were able to hold that for about 45 seconds. And then eventually OpTic, they were setting up for that P3 hardpoint, but then they were just pushed out way too far towards the middle of the map to where the Ravens, they were able to pick up 2 kills and then eventually flip those spawns 20 seconds into that P3 hardpoint. If you're OpTic, you gotta make sure you're not dying off rotation. You gotta make sure you're playing fundamentally correct. And unfortunately right there for Shotzzy, 15 and 28, didn't really have a hot start in that map, number 1. London take it. Now they're going into a search and destroy where London are not really good at Berlin. They're gonna be sitting at 1 and 5. OpTic are 3 and 2. But this is the map that OpTic need to get in this series.
Yeah, without question. I mean, kind of from a bird's eye point of view, or maybe even a Ravens point of view type of situation, we came into this saying it was necessary for the Ravens to win the hardpoint, considering how shaky the search and destroys have been. But based off the stats, right, based off the records, this is a Ravens team that looked like, right, that they are undefeated in hardpoint so far throughout the week, and a team that is now 5 and 1 on Berlin specifically. As we said, they needed an answer, and specifically, it's incredible, man. It's Zero, 30 and 18.
And the crazy stuff is that London, Nastie, Gismo, and Afro are always running around together. Zero is the guy that's going for the ultra flank, going for the late pinches, and just allowing his teammates to be super aggressive or flip those spawns whenever he wants. He was controlling that game from start to finish. He was just controlling the spawns. He was hitting the left side towards that P3, and then every time that OpTic were trying to get towards P4, that is where London, that was their best hard point. The fact that they were able to get at least a good 35 to 40 seconds on 2 rotations of that hill, great job from them. They just have to keep up that momentum. Good start for them in this series.
Yeah, and as we said, that momentum is so crucial for a young roster like this. I mean, I think that are on average one of the youngest teams that we have in the entirety of the CDL. For those that maybe aren't as familiar with the Ravens, basically built like the Seattle Surge for the most part, right? A veteran in combination with some young pieces and some young stars at that, as these guys answer early.
And the one thing that's even more scary for me is that the last time that these guys matched up, it was the very first match of qualifier. They go all the way to a game 5. The only 3 players that were over a 1.0 KD was everyone on the side of London but Zero. And if Zero is playing the way that he is right now, this is going to be a tough team to try to take down.
And I know we always talk about it, right? You know, the consideration for the best player in Europe is, and I think it's fair to say, man, Zero is making the case. Obviously, with the win yesterday versus Bance, his case definitely gets increased a decent amount. But having W's like this, taking OpTic the way that he has so far in this series, we'll see how it continues to progress, definitely increases his chances of holding on to that title. But now, my friend, walk into this next search and destroy. As we said, it has been really the strength for OpTic. Typically, when we talk about OpTic teams of old, it has not necessarily been the strength of the search and destroys. It has been more about the respawns. It's been more about the raw slang talent. And specifically in search and destroy, the guy who started off, right, that Tuscan search and destroy, the ace versus FaZe, Shotzzy leads the way for this team throughout the year.
Yeah, throughout qualifiers, OpTic, their biggest game mode that they needed to work on was S&D. But just watching them yesterday in that 6-0 versus Atlanta FaZe, their teamwork was insane. Shout out to the coaching staff of Rambo Ray and Sender, because he just wanted to make sure that the coordination was there. Everything, team nades was on point. Everyone was setting up for crossfires. They need to have that same exact mentality here, because that teamwork when you can do that versus Atlanta FaZe, your S&D should basically be unstoppable.
And that's, I think, what a lot of people thought would, or rather they would hope would happen with bringing in a coach like Rambo, obviously having Cinder there as well. And then, right, you bring in some excellent pieces, a player like iLLeY, who, I mean, what, has been playing Search Destroy tournaments since he was like 11. I think he said he won his first gold when he was barely like 9 or 10 years old. The guy's been playing it for a while. We know the talent of a player like Shotzzy, especially how he can handle those up close and personal SMG fights. This is what we wanted and what we hoped that we would see from this OpTic team, because as we said, Jay, previously, OpTic Rosters, they dropped the opening hardpoint, and that is where we start to get scared. But knowing what we do, Search Destroy it, this is what they expect.
Yeah, this is exactly what they expect. And if you guys just saw that graphic, they really like to attack this B-bomb on Berlin. 71% attack rate. They basically do not even go towards that A-bomb. So if you're London, you probably want to stack that side of the map.
We'll see the preparation where it's got them. As we said, the Ravens have been on Berlin many a times and have yet to see a ton of success. Quite a few round 11s, quite a bit of overtime moments for this Ravens roster, sitting with a 1-5 record. On the other side for OpTic, they've seen more success here. Take a look at that. #1 in offensive wins as well, and obviously a lot of that has to do with the way they like to work the sites.
And just looking at these stats from Zero, 1.67 on that map, #1. Gotta try to slow this guy down if you are on the side of OpTic, but here we go. OpTic having iLLeY carry that bomb. Plays slow towards B, but all out aggression towards A. Gismo gets the first.
The total opposite of what we like to expect is Afro. A huge kill is going to give the Ravens instantly the man count advantage, not just for 1, but for 2. A great double kill there from the youngster, as now it's iLLeY left in the 1 versus 3. Granted, he does have the bomb. And going to look to plant that one down. Plenty of space and a lot of room to work with, but that room is about to change.
Yeah, this is not going to be easy. iLLeY is a great search and destroy player. All 3 players from London are just stacking, playing the trade effectively, but he's able to take down 1. Now in a 1v2 situation, they know the positioning of iLLeY. Just going to try to back down. Just a couple of tacticals. He's able to at least spot 1 player crossing towards that bomb. There's only 20 seconds left. iLLeY can potentially clutch this.
They didn't see him. They did not see him go into library. They have no idea that he's here. Afro picking up the fuse. That's going to be nearly the first. Pulls out the pistol and gets it done. Afro on the fuse, but it doesn't matter. iLLeY coming out hot. A 1v3 in round 1.
What a play out of iLLeY.
He's getting loud.
To just go for that 1v3 bomb plant. He takes down the first and just plays it beautifully. If you're London, you have to try to watch that cross. You cannot allow that player to reflank you, but that's exactly how you want to start it if you're OpTic in this map #2.
There you see the tweets. Today we finish what we started. A similar impact to the Search Destroy yesterday. We saw Shotzzy with the ace. This time it's iLLeY with the 1v3. Ravens instantly on the attack. You're going to have to get that out of their minds instantly as the Texas boys decide to vacate the bomb site. That's only going to give more room for Ravens to work. As Nastie's got the objective on his back, and Afro's position is going to be known. He found 2 very valuable kills in that Search Destroy. Set his teammates up nicely. Overall, did not get the job done, but how about the nade from iLLeY again?
Down to 4v3. OpTic do have the man advantage. Scump does spot a player towards back alley, but iLLeY's on a 4-speed. Dashy takes down Nastie as well. iLLeY should be able to come behind this player, but Shotzzy takes him down to 1v4. Easy read coming in from Dashy. 4 up, 4 down. OpTic get the round.
Are you kidding me? iLLeY literally ran out the hallway, doesn't even look toward his left. Why? Because Dashy has his back.
Telling you, the crossfires are there, man.
I was gonna say, you said that yesterday. You're like, the crossfire, they're accidentally having these incredible crossfires. This team coordination is absolutely fantastic. And of course, it all starts off with the nade, which is what just seems to be the story in Search Destroy. Whether it's the Thieves or whether it's OpTic, the nades seem to be telling us the story so far at our Major 1 tournament. No trophies, and at least if you're OpTic, no problem for now, as iLLeY starting things off 4-0. And Texas look to make it a nice 3-0 start, now back on attack.
And London will be a super aggressive towards the middle of the map, and Dashy gets another first blood. Yesterday in that game 5 versus Atlanta, he got 5 out of 6 first bloods. In the 6-0, he finds the second as well. Immediately gonna be a 4v2 OpTic. They had the man advantage. It's eventually time to work this objective.
Who said the auto can't be great in close range? Dashy showing us all kinds of ways to maneuver. A very valuable weapon in this game, as we know. Gismo nearly gonna gain the haircut. Dashy looking for the ace. Zero, the last man alive, and he'll go for a dip. 3 up and 3 down. 3 impressive rounds from Texas.
And I'm pretty sure OpTic have 2 players who have yet to die. Dashy's on a 5 spree, iLLeY's on a 4, so they can both work towards that glide bomb. But this has been textbook search and destroy coming in from OpTic in these early rounds. If you are London, this is the round you need to try to stop the bleeding. The crowd is starting to get into it. Green wall needs the energy. But here we go. London back on the attack. This time they're gonna go towards B.
See what they can do. Zero watching the cross, so he'll have information that it's gonna be a 2-2 split. Ravens with that info, they gotta be careful. They know that Dashy's back here with the sniper, but on the other end, it's iLLeY. Up close already at the docks, and he'll also escape with his life as well. Slithering back, repositioning. Texas once more with the first blood, and Ravens having that bomb dropped. You can see it, just a little bit of a rattling of the mind. Somewhat scrambled for the moment, 50 seconds left. As Afro looks to make a play, but again, Ravens with no real awareness, no real positioning of where the Texas players are at.
3v4 situations for the Ravens are usually not successful. They have a 50% win rate when they are down a man, but iLLeY at least takes down one before he is traded. So in 3v2 situation, 30 seconds left. The bomb is gonna be picked up. Afro tries to attack this towards B, but look at number 4. He's gonna slowly try to work this flank, try to get great timing on Zero.
Oh, and he absolutely could. He absolutely could. Scump around the Rosie. Thank you very much. All on to Afro now in a 1v2. 13 seconds left, but this one not going to belong to Scump either. 10 more seconds. And Afro, does he let it go for the plant? He does. He actually does hop on it. He'll have time for the plant. Dashy gonna have to challenge this quick. Afro's prepared. Sitting on 5 in a row is Bruce. What a round this could be for the Ravens. What a round it could be for London. It's Dashy. Of course, it's Bruce again. Denying the 1v3 and giving OpTic their 4th round in a row.
Dashy stepping up in this game, number 2, 6-1 on a 6-free. Got a little scary though, when Scump loses that gunfight, forces it to the 1v1. But Dashy, he's got some ice in his veins. Able to clutch it up. Now 1 off that glide bomb. Back on the attack. Once again, this is what OpTic do. They slow, steady towards that B bomb. Eventually, they go for that bomb plant. Zero's at least able to spot one player wrapping back. So number 7, which is going to be Gismo. The attack is going to come in from OpTic, because either he has to get one or get out with his life.
Zero has to know that's a bait, right? He obviously saw the nade get thrown. There's nobody there. Ravens gonna have to be ready for this. The information given from the vet and Gismo. The young gun picking up from the veteran, getting the information, but Scump and Dashy combined for 2, just like that. Dashy as well earns the glide bomb. Zero rotates with the sniper, as it's gonna have to be him and Nastie with the man disadvantage. Quickly even, now 2v2, but Scump spots Nastie. All on to Zero with the sniper, a 1v2. Can he catch the timing? Can he catch the timing as one player looks to rotate Scump?
He spots
does in fact spot him.
Double challenge.
That's what they're gonna have to do. They're gonna have to do that. But Zero looks to reposition. OpTic not gonna go for the plant. They look to go for the rush. They want the kill. They're hungry for it. They're chasing him down. Zero has no idea that they've been here the whole time. No plant, no problem. 5-0.
This has been flawless search and destroy. Dashy 8-1. Keep in mind, now they're going into a defense. He has that glide bomb to work with. So if you're London, B is basically chalked. You do not want to give up that first blood to the glide bomb. It has to be an all-out A attack. If I'm OpTic right here, you stack that A bomb, allow Dashy to eventually just sit and fire, try to play for a pick. But you play that A bomb, don't allow them to play B. This should be a flawless 6-0 from OpTic.
We're really going to see another 6-0, 11 rounds straight out of OpTic Texas. As you called it, it's going to have to be an A push. Everybody aware of such as the streak remains in the balance. Scump nearly turns on the second 2v2. Now it's all up to Nastie. 1v1. Bruce versus Nastie. Considering that Dashy does have that streak, it could really come down to timing if Nastie decides to rotate this.
And honestly, Nastie tries to take this bomb towards B. Dashy, he's watching this cross. He's just trying to go back and forth. If he can get great timing, all you have to do is invest that glide bomb. You should be able to close it out. But Nastie, he's going to try to go through fire and play for this gunfight.
Dashy sees him. Dashy's got him in his sights. Another 6-0. Are you kidding me? They do it yesterday versus Atlanta, and now they do it versus London. 12 rounds in a row. And we've got ourselves a series, baby.
Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. OpTic coming alive. That's 12 rounds in a row for Search and Destroy for the green wall. Flawless S&D right there. Now they're going into a control. It's going to be on Gavutu, and I'm pretty sure OpTic, so far, their record in control are 6-1. But just look at the stat line from Dashy. 9-1 taking over the game. iLLeY starts it off by getting that 1v3. Such a tone setter right off the rip of the game. London just simply didn't have an answer. Probably would have been that Afro 1v3 if he would have got it. But Dashy just shuts him down, man. That was clean Search and Destroy from OpTic.
And you think, too, like you go back to the 1v3 from iLLeY, right? That clutch, that ability to allow for that record to remain intact, that had to tilt London in a number of different ways. But we've got ourselves a one-to-one game. And I know we've got Gavutu control to talk about, but Jay, real fast, what has impressed you the most? I mean, I know that we can talk about a number of different things for OpTic. Obviously, they're flawless in Search and Destroy these last 2 games. But what has been the most impressive thing? What's been the biggest difference maker from the qualifiers now to the major?
Just their teamwork, man. You can just tell that they're communicating every single second. Like right there, even though there's one player left, actually somebody's calling out like, this guy potentially could be flanking. And they're immediately set up for that. And right there, even towards that final round there, Scump, he was able to push his way through back alley. He finds that kill into the window, and then you would think that Scump is gonna die because all of London are coming from plat. But Dashy's just ready with that auto. Preems down the sights, he takes down the kill. The teamwork right now from OpTic in Search and Destroy is insane.
It absolutely is. And obviously, as we mentioned, one of the biggest moments throughout this game has got to be the 1v3, Jay.
Insane stuff coming in from iLLeY. Once he found that first kill, if you're London, you just want to hop that bomb immediately. They wasted too much time on just trying to locate iLLeY, and then eventually they don't watch that cross. They allow this guy to get in towards library and eventually finds that last kill and makes that 1v3 look easy. The guy's been doing it since he was in diapers. Does it again.
Does indeed. Social definitely enjoying the performance there at iLLeY. An incredible clutch, and now he has got OpTic Texas in a wonderful position as they answer big in this Search Destroy. And now we've got ourselves a 1-1 game. Championship Sunday already starting off hot. Folks, when we come back after the break, it is time for Gavutu Control. Stay with us.
I'm too exhausted, I needed the energy, needed to pick me up. I'm in your movie, but this is my cinema. I got the power, I'm built to devour anyone coming against me at tower. I don't care in the pressure. Some of y'all leaving here in the stretcher. Took my time to go and get better. I was reading in the red letters. Ay, hit me with your best shot. I got time today. Feeling like a matador with that Red Bull. Oh no, you can't stop me. I'm running my own play. For the game win, I came to pin anything that gets in my way. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Energy, energy, energy. I need that energy, energy. Energy, energy, energy. I need that. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Energy, energy, energy. I need that energy, energy. Energy, energy, energy. I need that energy, energy. Been here, we done that. We done that. You all know what we came for. You all know what we came for. We been here, we done that. We done that. Energy, energy, energy. I need that energy, energy. I'm in the game like EA. Been in my prime since pre-K. Shooting my shot from long range. Going over here's a good toupee. Treat every day like payday. Y'all been living so mundane. My work week is Sunday to oh wait, that's every day. Putting in overtime. Punching the clock, I'ma get what's mine. While everyone's sleeping, I'm living my dreams. I got a coin that's so divine. Lord, take the wheel like 10 and 2. I'm losing energy, I'm overdue. I've been on the top ropes, hitting my pulls. Watch me hit the power moves. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Energy, energy, energy. I need that energy, energy. Energy, energy, energy. I need that. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Energy, energy, energy. I need that energy, energy. Energy, energy, energy. I need that energy, energy. Been here, we done that. We done that. You all know what we came for. You all know what we came for. We been here, we done that. We done that. Energy, energy, energy. I need that energy, energy. Done that. You all know what we came for. Energy, 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 energy. I need that energy, energy.
The Call of Duty League is brought to you by Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the final day of the OpTic Texas Major. It is Championship Sunday, and we are starting things off right. We've got ourselves a 1-to-1 series, and if you're just joining us, you missed a lot. We'll try to recap it the best way that we can. London take game one, and, well, Search Destroy, it was absolutely dominant. OpTic Texas with a 6-0 victory there on Berlin, but now, Jay, it sets us up for this control. Talk to me about the numbers. Talk to me about the importance of this game three.
So right now, the best team in the game that we have at this mode is OpTic, but their only loss in control, as they are 6-1, is to London. Okay. But it was on a totally different map, and they're not going to be playing that today. They're going to be playing Gavutsu. They're 1-0 on that map. Their only win came against Boston. They ended up 3-0 them. But on the opposite side for London, they are 4-1 on this map. They really enjoy this map. If you are OpTic, it all just comes down to the slang. Every single player on the side of the Ravens are over a 1.0 KD on this map. If Dashy can put up the same performance that he's been doing all throughout this control, pretty sure he's #1 overall KD with a 1.4. Yeah. That guy needs to be the answer here.
Yeah, and this is the perfect map to do it on, right?
Yeah.
That's a performance on Tuscan. We talk often about how the SMGs can just dominate, how they can roll on Tuscan. This feels like it could be Bruce's map to take over with 9-1 in the Search Destroy. We'll see what he can do on the control and right on cue, Jay, the first blood.
He's just got a beaver. He's got a gunny on him, man. As OpTic are gonna be in the defense. Gismo Nastie able to find a couple kills, but Shotzzy works his way to the backside of ship. He takes down both. But just look at the plays coming in from London. Zero is able to sneak his way all the way through B. And OpTic, they're going to be late to read this. He's going to get the first tick of progression.
And we actually had Merc talk about this not long ago, about how teams, kind of being sneaky whenever it comes down to the indicator at the top of your screen. If you're hopping on A and B at the same time, you often cannot tell that there's a player on that B zone. It takes a lot of awareness to be prepared for it. And look at the progress that they're making. They've already got 1 tick. That's now going to be 2 ticks at arguably the most difficult control point in the entirety of the game. And of course, it is the veteran. It is Trey Morris doing the work for the Ravens end. Oh, he does get wiped away. Again, that is the best start that you can have for London, considering they were getting outslayed heavily at the ship. They overall win the fights, as now Nastie will resume position at B.
They're just committing towards the B point. They should be able to close this out. Number 5, who's sitting top rank, which is going to be 0. He does lose that gunfight, so now OpTic, time to put the pressure on, eliminate this player from this point. That's going to be 3 dead. Only player farthest pushed up is going to be Afro. OpTic tied up in lives. There's only 55 seconds left. OpTic just had to try to play for some map control.
And you can tell London, right? They want to work so heavily at B. They know the progress that they've made, and they may have to chalk it for now. Focus on the more preferred of the two. As aBeZy, a few shots into the rocks. Ravens still staying alive inside the boat for the moment. The Scump gets dealt with toward the outer alley of green. aBeZy able to pick him apart. So with that, the stack is in for the moment. Nice shots coming through from Ender. But nonetheless, the Ravens still with the overall control. But take a look at player 3. Shotzzy is going to try to make the play. This could absolutely spoil all of the progress that the Ravens have made. A few players from the front and Shotzzy from the back. One more player left inside a boat. 0. Going to try to be the saving grace. But take a look at Shotzzy. He's got 1. He's got 2. He's got 3 in his sights. And Texas will take them all down. Stack them up and knock them down. Texas take down the entire Ravens roster. And with 15 seconds left, London knows this round is over.
You just want to not give away as many lives as you can if you're the Ravens. OpTic turned this round completely. They just dominated the later half of this first round. Up by 7 lives, 5. Spree coming in from Dashy. That's how you hold on the defensive side.
And those are the plays, if you're London, that you cannot afford to lose. Yeah. As we said, they make all kinds of progress at B. They want to continue to push it. They want to continue to grab the more difficult point of the two. And of course that makes sense, but that is where things can get so punishing on a map like Kuavo. When you're on the attacking end, so quickly can everything go from in your favor to the exact opposite. Ravens learned that the hard way. And despite all of the work, it still sits with Texas in the driver's seat with the life advantage. And with the 1-round lead as well, as we're going to go back to B. Texas walk right through the door, claim it as theirs. And now they find themselves on that B zone. Shotzzy now at 4 in a row.
And we have 2 players on it too, so this is going to go pretty quick. Scump has a huge 1-on-1. He's able to win it. Oh, player number 7 is going to be also red. Second tick is about to be completed. OpTic, they're playing this flawlessly. That's going to be another 2 dead. Afro, he does find 1. Gismo does find a second, but there's still 2 players here from OpTic. You just have to both win your 1-on-1s. Crossfire coming in from Scump. Scump and iLLeY holding it down there, able to complete this B point.
That kill's being heard in Frisco, for God's sake. The nice beamer coming through from iLLeY. Shotzzy again on the flank, disrupting on the outside of the boat. Trying to clear the way right now for Texas. A few players off spawn, but Shotzzy, it feels like he cannot miss.
Oh my.
He cannot miss. He cannot miss. Shotzzy in 4 in a row. iLLeY with 5. The newcomers on this OpTic team proving their worth in the biggest of situations. Shotzzy will end it at 5, but 2 ticks already at bottom boat. It just feels like it has to be an OpTic round at this point. Gismo falls as well. And that record that Ravens hold so dearly, how dominant they have been on defense, will come to an end. Dominant.
So dominant coming in from OpTic. London were 11-1 on this map on the defensive side. They started off by just dominating that B point, man. Kill after kill. Shotzzy completely forgot about that first map. Just put himself on a 5 spree to close out that last round. Feels like momentum is starting to change. OpTic in command of this game on another defensive side.
The biggest problem for London is that you find yourself 2-0 now with having to win an attacking round as well. Could not be much worse if you are the London side, but we'll see if this group can start to dig deep. And one player that we've got to look out for, the one player who can lead the charge, is Afro, the second-year player for this London team, the only player from Cold War, and for reasons like this. Movement absolutely perfect there from Afro, trying to clear things out for green. And as we said, setting his teammates up at that A point as they'll stop the clock.
And OpTic are currently up by at least 20 kills, just in case it does go to that round number 5. But you see OpTic, they're gonna make sure that they're pushing up towards this beach side. They do not want to give up top green control. Scump trying to do everything he can to try to take back green control. He does spot Afro, huge one-on-one engagement to take him out of their base. This is gonna allow players to start setting him up pinches. Look at number 3 on your minimap, Shotzzy, once again going for that flank.
Shotzzy with the game, potentially. I mean, we talked about how big this could be. The Ravens foot, they've got full control. Meanwhile, peekaboo, here I am, Shotzzy for 1. Desperately trying to find the second he gets dealt with. Good control out of the Ravens as we continue to battle on both sides of the map. And really, it's either side walking away with those fights. 35 seconds left, and for London, they've got to get an objective soon. They've got to make A their home. But with the pressure that Texas currently have, they're not going to give this one away for free. They are not going to give this one up easy. As Scump starts things off nicely with the kill into Nastie. 2 more fall. It's about to be 4 down as player 7 and Gismo has got to make the play. You see him in the center of your map, desperately hunting for information, hunting for kills, as he'll find 2. Meanwhile, Scump 1 away from the glide bomb. If we can even see another round. Only seconds left, and Shotzzy, with the greatest of shots, takes down 1. London trying to get onto the point. Shotzzy aware of their position. He's got the pistol, got something prepared. Not gonna work out as Ravens will hold. They get the stack, and they've got a minute at it.
Now, if you're OpTic, you just want to make sure you're playing this defense flawlessly. You need to get someone towards that top green. You cannot allow them to push through that front side. As you see number 7, just Gismo, holding that top ring. Zero and Afro able to find a couple kills. aBeZy has to try to stay alive here. You do not want to down on the left side, but 35 seconds left. This is basically going to be the Ravens' last push. They go 4 dead here. This is not going to be it.
They go 4 dead. This looks to be over. Zero enters into the 5-3 streaks. Could be in his future, but iLLeY with the beamer. iLLeY with the beamer! Continues to be clutch as London tied in lives. iLLeY falls. That could be the opening as Gismo's able to find a double. A massive 1v1, but Dashy's able to take it. Backs on up and waits for his teammates off spawn. The final charge, the final moment for London. Can they get to the point? Somebody's gonna have to hop on it. Somebody's gonna have to get here, but as Afro drops, it's not just gonna be a 6-0 in the search and destroy, but it will be a 3-0 in the control.
That is 2 flawless maps coming in from OpTic. Clean search and destroy. But to come out and dominate their very first defense, where it looked like London, they started off really well. Like, they were on B point. You got 2 ticks of aggression. But once they shut down that push, they were able to just get up on the map. Shotzzy was causing havoc in the back of their spawn. And then they go into the next round. They were dominant on that offense. They go out and just capture that B point. Once they capture B, you know how easy it is to get A. You get a clean 4 dead. It should be chalked at that point. OpTic are not messing around. That's 2 back-to-back maps where they are just playing their best Call of Duty.
And the scariest part, right, thinking about the future of this tournament, right, if OpTic do make it into the finals, right, we're gonna see 2 controls. Not just a Tuscan, which they've been great on, but the 2 times that they played Kavutsu, it's been 3-0 stomps, right? They beat Breach 3-0 the first time they played it. We were worried about that for them. They come out and dominate, and now versus the Ravens, one of the best teams that we have in control. Only their 2nd time playing the map is Texas, and they 3-0 as well. Excellent composure, and you've got to imagine, man, all of that hype, all of the energy that Ravens had after that first map victory, it is gone.
And just looking at the teamwork from OpTic, just before this map even started, Dashy was #1 KD in control. I'm pretty sure he put up like 12 and 12. They didn't really need to do a lot because Shotzzy was just causing so many problems in the back of their spawn. Clutch kill after clutch kill. Scump and Shotzzy were able to close out this last defense. He goes on a 6-3, takes them both down. And then once iLLeY was able to find that first kill, he finds the last 2 on this point. And with 25 seconds left, they're spawning all the way across the map. OpTic are just not messing around. They want to get to that grand finals.
And as we said, man, I mean, it's unbelievable too, because it's not in the hard points.
Yeah.
It's through the search destroys. It is through the controls. The consistency from this OpTic team is absolutely staggering. A great reply, obviously, as we said, after losing the opening hard point. I don't know if we've ever seen a 6-0 search destroy followed up by a 3-0 control. But you have now, at the very least. If that's not worth the price of admission, then I have absolutely no idea what is. But let's go and take a look back at the incredible play from Shotzzy, man, in that control. We'll take a look back at it here in a few moments. But just a number of different highlight plays. But Jay, that, for me at least, felt like it sealed the deal.
Yeah, Shotzzy, with our Scump play of the game, he just makes his way through top ship. He finds that first kill, and this will make Shotzzy Shotzzy. Look how fast he's just maneuvering around the map. Hey, open the window, hip fire, I'm gonna get that kill. I'm immediately jumping out, gonna find another one, and then give me the third as well. Shotzzy is just an insane beast in Call of Duty, and that is why they were able to just dominate the way that they did on that map number 3. But now they're going into a Tuscan hardpoint. This is a good map for both of these teams, but on one side, it's gonna be London, who are 3-0. On the opposite side, it's OpTic, who are 2-0. But for OpTic, one player specifically dominates this map, and it's iLLeY. He has a 1.5 on hardpoint Tuscan.
Oh, 1.5?
Insane.
That's actually wild. A 1.5 on Tuscan hardpoint. How often do we talk about iLLeY being the X factor for this team? He has had an excellent showing so far in this series, specifically in that search destroy, as we talked about it, a 1v3, and what, like round number 1? It was already off the start, setting the tone, and from there, OpTic have rode that momentum to this very point. Let's go and take a look at hardpoint top performance so far throughout the season. We've talked about it, right? It really feels like Shotzzy is having that MVP-like season already up to this point, sits at a 1.12. But the ace, right? It feels like in the back pocket for this Ravens roster is Joey Owen. Gismo, Mr. Consistent. He has been so great in our qualifiers. The last guy added to this Ravens team, and they have seen nothing but a return and then some on his performance. We look at a number of different guys right from this Ravens team, but if Gismo can go off the way that we know he can, the way that he did in qualifiers, we very well could have a Game 5, Jay.
Yeah, Gismo, at the qualifiers, I'm pretty sure he put up a 1.4 in this series. And right now, so far in hardpoint, he's sitting at a 1.14, a little bit better than Shotzzy, but Shotzi's gun looks a little bit more warmed up. There's no way he's gonna go double negative on this map. OpTic are in control of this series. They find themselves on a great map for both of these teams. The only thing that they need to fix is their holds on hardpoints, because we know how great London are when they're breaking into certain hardpoints. On a map like Tuscan, it can definitely get out of hand if you cannot get towards that P3 hardpoint. P3 is that money hill. If you're OpTic, you need to make sure you're there early on the rotation.
Yeah, it feels like Tuscan is like one of the crazier maps.
It is.
Like, obviously we have Bocage, so it's like, you know, whatever. But we're talking about, I mean, it feels like the craziness of this map, the SMGs can get flying, they can get frying. Meanwhile, it feels like every hardpoint at a certain time, except for P5, can be a money hill. But here we go. So far, both teams undefeated on Tuscan hardpoint. Something's gonna have to give. OpTic Texas, OpTic specifically, their banner. Right, we talked about the Huntsman previously, but this OpTic team, the OpTic organization, looking to get to their first finals since CDL Las Vegas in 2018. The first time that Dashy was brought onto this roster. He had a performance and a half, and it feels like similar things so far at the OpTic Texas Major. Can they get it done on home soil? It's time to find out.
Here we go. P1 hardpoint, we know how mixy this one can get. Trades going back and forth, but OpTic have control. And usually when you're spawning on the side that London are on, you usually get this P1 hardpoint, usually a majority of the time, but OpTic, they're putting so much pressure on the backside. Dashy's holding down the middle of the map. This has been a flawless start to this hardpoint.
Yeah, I mean, Dashy, just gonna hang out, right? He's got 2 kills. He's done his job already. OpTic Texas, an excellent start toward this opening. Shotzzy sees 2. Eyes get real wide, but not able to find either as Ravens for the first time. Able to get a few seconds, but iLLeY right on cue, trades back and forth. Ravens will look to hold for the moment. As we said, OpTic prepared for next. One of the best hills on this game is coming up, and we'll see how the Ravens elect to try and break this, relying heavily on the vet throughout this series, and specifically in this game. Zero has been putting up, honestly, MVP-like numbers, and we'll see if he can help lead the charge for his young crew. But holding that back tank is iLLeY. Ever so strong, ever so solid in moments like this, eventually gets dropped, and it comes in the hands of the vet.
So now the spawn 2 flip. London are able to break through the backside. Zero does find 2. Scump trying to do everything he can to just stay alive towards top plat, allow his teammates to get back into the play. Shotzzy's here, he takes down 2. And once again, OpTic, they're holding this from the front side. 25 seconds remaining. Number 2 right now, the first thing you gotta be thinking about is that rotation. And that's exactly what iLLeY is doing, as OpTic are finding kill after kill, getting all this remaining junk time.
I'm just saying, OpTic was holding it despite not having numbers either. OpTic will leave that hard point Obviously, they wanted more time, but they'll be leaving that quite happy, knowing that they're prepared for next as well. Player number 8 sneaks his way through. No trigger discipline, because why? He's got some extra teammate support. Nasty with the up-close fight. Great work coming in from London as they've got the young guns making their way through roofs. Texas are here, but a few nades could get them weak. It's gonna come down to Scump. He and Shotzzy gonna try to hold down this roofs themselves. That's 2-0 on the opposite end, takes down 2 of his own. Hat the lobby drops, and nobody currently sits in the hill. Ravens are gonna have a preferred positioning. Wow. But Dashy will hold, and he'll get the time just like that. All of that progress goes out the window.
Such great plays coming in from Dashy and iLLeY. iLLeY was that player that was playing towards top fire. He wraps his way around roofs, blocks that spawn, and it eventually spawns all of the Ravens towards that P1 side, and OpTic are eventually able to get in. 20 seconds remaining on this point. Kill after kill is in favor of OpTic Texas. And look already on the rotation. Number 3, Shotzzy, is going to be there early.
Again, it just feels like Texas every time, right? They're getting a majority of the time, and they're winning the rotations. They have players who are being so sneaky. Right on cue, Shotzzy falls. And this could be the first time where the Ravens could really start to dig their heels into this game. Over at Church, the nice nade to start. The 1-for-1 trade. Texas strong through the field, and just like that, 3 enter the feed, make it 4 down. Texas break again. Sitting on a 10-team spree for the moment. The slang continues to favor the boys on home soil. As iLLeY sits on 5, Dashy falls, and iLLeY goes down as well. Ravens doing everything they can to fight for every single second, knowing the dominance that can easily be displayed by the other side, as the trades will only look to continue. Texas with the time, Texas with the fights. They can do no wrong. 112 to 52. We head toward P5, our last hard point of the first set of rotations. The crowd rooting them on. One more map away. Let's step aside and see how the comms sound. A listening with OpTic Texas.
One shot stairs. That's an absolute point.
Yo, what's well me? What's well?
Are you? I said over.
I'm going around.
Yo, I'm gonna try and die.
I'm going around. Yeah. They're gonna know. They saw me cross up.
Yo, Gismo,
I got Sunner.
Yo, that's 2. Gismo's on time as well.
I'm trying to
over. Let's go. We have in the right corner. What's high low?
Nade time.
I need time as well.
Right corner.
Shit off!
What? They could be stairs.
Yo, right side. I'm name.
Yo, Afro.
Right side. Watch I blow. You got it? Okay. Yeah.
Are you time now? Okay, nade it.
I'm needing their side. I need their side.
Nade their side.
Still holding low.
You need with the nade?
Yo, Nastie there.
Watch on the right corner.
I'm just laying down. Yo,
hold really, guys.
Right corner, guys.
Two there. Nice job. Get off!
Good.
What guys are you?
Stand up.
Our side, you guys.
All right, we should go. I can nade. We could DM.
Yeah, I stand our side, you.
Let's jump.
OpTic is hyped. Scump is letting them know, and so is iLLeY and Shotzzy combining for kills. The Ravens already having their score doubled. All the pressure in the world now falls on their shoulders. Let's step aside and see how the comms now sound with London.
Which one's our trick, okay? One shot then.
Left side got it. He's weak. I'm starting out.
Bomb.
Left side got it. Left
Last guy heal. Blame to Watch you.
Have you got time?
I'll get you mid. I'll get left. Do we get left?
Get left, Joey. Get left. I've got Ash cross until you got it.
They go left. Alright, get time, Baron. Come get time, Baron. You'll be close.
I've rolled you up, Trey.
Two comms. What they pushed up towards Luke.
No, Michelle, you went ramp straight away. You went to arch, okay? It's going to be back.
Go top corner, okay? Hold that, wait. On me, hold up. Top on me. Good death.
Nice. There's two.
I want on me fucking maps here.
Go at maps.
Wait for you.
And the intensity for the Ravens, you can just tell that they are trying to fight back into this game, but OpTic, they're just so far ahead. They're flipping the spawns whenever they want. 181 to 98. They're able to find a couple kills though. OpTic's still gonna have those back spawns. But London able to break through the front. 45 seconds remaining on this point.
This could be a great moment. This could be a great moment for London. We'll watch and see how they look to handle this. They've got the time and they've got the spawns in their hands for next. All of that in mind, this could be, if it's handled perfectly, it could get them back in this game as Afro will end his spree. Nastie, the only player alive on the point, is OpTic with the seize on in. They'll take him down as well. They look good for the final 20 seconds, and that will put them so close to 250. not losing fights, not losing fights. The double century mark will be eclipsed as we head in toward Fountain, the hill that could bring the Ravens back or that could put Texas in the finals.
And OpTic are ready. They're trying to set up this pinch. Scump attacking the roofs. Does not win the initial gunfight. You still have two players here. Shotzzy is trying to read these players, trying to flank them, but all of OpTic starting to spawn out towards roofs. Shotzzy's able to find one. The pressure's starting to come from the back. If he can pick up this kill towards Vine, that'll be huge. That's going to be 3 dead. Last play in the back is going to be Afro. Make it for OpTic. Get the break.
OpTic get the break again. As Shotzzy one away from the glide bomb as well. Continuing to pile on the success versus London. As they'll look to break in, but it just feels like desperation points at this moment. 20 valuable ones left as the feed will fill with Raven advantages, but Shotzzy cannot seem to lose an engagement. 25 and 15 from the Ant-Man. Tosses out the nade and hits the shots as well. iLLeY's on the flank. It feels like Texas can do no wrong. iLLeY drops, but 225, 134. It's gonna take one more break.
And this is where we say usually London have to play perfect hard point from here on out. Because the way that OpTic are playing right now, 20 and 10 out of Dashy, 26 and 16 out of Shotzzy. As Dashy does find that first kill, you see OpTic, they're just trying to take this time. You do not want to go 1 by 1. You want to set up this team push. But you have a player trying to approach through that P1 side. A huge one-on-one. Scump's able to win it. Shotzzy attacks the top as well. That's going to be 3 dead. Last player here is going to be Afro. He goes down. Another clean 4 dead.
And OpTic can win it here. The Ravens will have to do their best to try and delay as Zero makes his way over toward field. Trying to provide some cover fire for his teammates, but his teammates don't happen to be even on the map right now. Zero says, I'll do it myself. As Shotzzy flies in from the skies. Incredible plays out of Shotzzy. At least allows the team kill. The Ravens will hold on and force the final rotation potentially of this game. Over at P5, 9 more points needed for OpTic. iLLeY caught off guard with the nade. Shotzzy will look to pick up from where his longtime teammate just left off. 3 strong through the bottom, 3 strong through the bottom. 1 more player left inside of the point. Can OpTic, can they make it their final push? Can they make it their final push? The teamwork is there. The shots are in. OpTic Texas looked like it could be theirs. And it will be a finals appearance.
They come out slow in that map number 1, but the next 3 maps were basically textbook. They 6-0 in the search and destroy. They dominate the control 3-0. And then to start that hard point, Shotzzy was flipping the spawn whenever he wanted. Usually on the opposite side, what makes London so good at hard point is that they're able to slate with the best. The only player to go positive on that map was Zero. Gismo really didn't have a good performance there, but such a great showing coming in from OpTic. The gun started to get a little more hot. You can just tell that they were playing with nothing but confidence. The fact that they were able to dominate that search and destroy the way that they did, dominate the control the way that they did, and then to come in here and just make the lead so big, it made Ravens, they had to try to fight back into this game, but 30 and 17 out of Shotzzy, 28 non-traded kills, followed up by Dashy, 25 and 12. Not a single player positive on the side of the Ravens, but OpTic finally make it back to a grand final.
And again, that's versus a Ravens team who coming into that map had yet to lose a hard point here at Major 1. That record ends, and the Ravens will now be sent to the elimination bracket. OpTic Texas at their major will be in the finals. They've got a date and that good old best of 9. And as we said, Jay, this was a situation that we were in at the Major 1 qualifiers. They were facing off against this Ravens team. OpTic was down in the dumps. Back-to-back Game 5, Round 11 losses, an 0-2 record, and questions galore on whether or not this team was even going to work, on if this team was even going to be able to contend. And just weeks later, the turnaround on what they've been able to do 3 straight in the qualifiers, and so far, flawless at their major. Nothing short of impeccable.
Definitely impeccable from OpTic. To see how fast they made these changes too, because at the end of that qualifier, you know, they ended up going on that 3-win streak, but there's still a couple things that they need to work on. The fact that their S&D is looking this clean, that means that they're doing non-stop work. Every single interview, Scump says, we're just putting in hella work, and so far it's been showing, man. Congratulations on making it to the grand finals.
Yeah, man, absolutely unbelievable stuff out of the OpTic Texas side. As we said, it's been a while since this OpTic banner has been in that finals position, and now they've got their chance. All that left to be decided is who's going to join them there. But let's go and sit it down to the main stage. It is our Game Fuel Victory Spotlight. Miles, take it away, buddy.
Thank you very much, Lando. I'm joined by Big Bruce himself. Congratulations, man. That was a wild series. You started off a little slow, but you guys got it, you know, together. You took on one of the toughest slaying squads in the game, and you came out on top. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. Obviously, we're in finals, which is, you know, shout out to the Green Wall, everyone that's here. Appreciate you guys. But just give credit to London. I mean, they're playing some really good COD right now, and they just caught us off guard, and you got to give credit to them. Grand finals now await, man. It's been a minute for you guys, especially under the OpTic banner. Any nerves, you know, in front of this kind of crowd? I mean, obviously, we're trying to pull through for the Green Wall. I mean, it's like that's like priority number one, but no, there's not really like pressure. I mean, we're just gonna play our game and try to come out with a dub. I love you too.
Is there any team you want to play in that finals? Obviously, we've got some tough teams still in the comp. Is there anyone you're looking forward to playing? Obviously, you haven't faced Toronto.
No preference really. I mean, every team, we're still gonna like, you know, we're still gonna do our thing. So I mean, I'm not really like gonna pick a team just in case, you know, bad juju. I'm not gonna do that.
No, I love that, man. And I think your mum is still in the crowd. Is Mama Dashy still out here?
Yeah, Mom and Dad and my brother here. I love you guys. Appreciate you guys for coming out. Shout out Mama Bruce.
It's nothing. It's incredible to see the passion of Bruce. Congratulations again, dude. We will see you again in those grand finals. Desk, take it away.
Oh, man. OpTic, they're finally in the finals. I mean, heading into this event, we really didn't know what to expect. And OpTic, even though they had a slow start in the season, they definitely popped off. But aLLeY, I'm going to need your help for a second. Let's talk about Dashy because he was feeding off of the crowd, and he had a beautiful ace when it came to that search and destroy.
He came out incredibly hot right off the bat. It was Shotzzy that was kind of falling behind a bit, and Dashy stepped it up for the both of them. Shotzzy obviously went off in that last map, but we got to talk about Dashy in that S&D. I believe at one point he was on a 6-free. He got an ace. I mean, guy was feeling himself on that map. 6-0 in Berlin, 2 back-to-back from yesterday as well. Incredible out of OpTic.
Right, and Nameless watching that search and destroy, man. Dashy and the boys spanked him.
Dude, and it's the confidence out of Dashy, like the route that he hits. He instantly sprints up these stairs. He knows that London's probably going to be trying to take mid-map. Like, this guy is aware. He's there in the VOD review, and he's prepared. He gets the kill right on Afro in the mid, gets the 2-piece on the guy going for the trade. Then he knows where Gismo likes to play, probably in fire as an AR player, picks him off, and the last guy jumps off the map. So I think it qualifies as an ace, right? But it was beautiful to see, man. Honestly, I have no critiques for OpTic in those last 3 maps. That was flawless Call of Duty. From the search control to that hard point, well executed.
You know, I don't see a weakness from his roster right now. I mean, Shotzzy getting a 30 bomb to close things out. iLLeY's looking good, and it's like everyone is stepping up, and even when the icing on the cake is Scump, and he is just Scump. I mean, this team is scary.
He has one of like the top KDs from the weekend. I mean, he's picking up 2 pieces left and right. He's switching over to the AR, and he looks like a god. So Scump is in his bag, OpTic is in their bag, and they got that spot in the finals. And I think they might even have to deal with Berlin Hardpoint in the future. So they now have a very distinct advantage coming from the winner's side. So OpTic, this is their chance. They can win it all.
And the best part about all of this Nameless is the simple fact that we're not even seeing everything from OpTic yet. I mean, even seeing Scump on Kuavo too with an AR, they have so much more that they can bring out of the bag.
You know what's crazy? That was an aggressive call to let Berlin get through in this series, right? Like, they looked good on Kuavo yesterday. They could have easily let that map get through and played that instead of Berlin. But like, no, you know, London spawned one on Berlin. We haven't won it yet. Let's give it a shot. And they knew that they were going to be great throughout the rest of the series. So getting that rep there, that's preparation for the final because they're probably going to have to play that map.
And OpTic, they just dismantled London. Okay, London won the first map, aLLeY, but it really felt like a 3-0. And London now, they're going to be on the loser side of the bracket. Things are going to get a lot more scarier for them.
London looked really good in that first hard point, but I feel like it was all the rookies getting in their heads. For me specifically, it was like they were trying to make a lot of hero plays that just didn't make a whole lot of sense. Like in that P5, there was 2 players in sight. They had control, but one, for some reason, once they got the wipe, heads out a window, tries to go for the hero play to get behind a couple players bottom, leaves his teammate alone, so there's no trades going their way, and OpTic end up breaking up into the hill and getting the W, but that's it, brick by brick. What a better way for OpTic Texas Texas to be in the grand finals of their own major.
And just to touch on your point, by the way, aLLeY, like the rookies like making mistakes, like they had the momentum after that map number 1 in the very first round of that Berlin S&D. They give up a 1 versus 3, and I think that is just like a momentum killer.
100%.
I mean, after that, literally just never look back.
You can't let the OpTic fans have something to root for in a series like that. You need to have the momentum throughout, right? And they gave it to him with those pistol kills, man. That was tough.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. OpTic Texas are going to be waiting in the grand finals of their own major. Trust me, this was not in the script. But on the loser side, we have 3 left. Toronto Ultra versus the Atlanta FaZe, and the winner will face off against the London Royal Ravens. But I still don't think the London Royal Ravens are out of it, man. This is still the scariest team to me in the event next to Atlanta.
I think it's a little bit situational, right? I think if Ultra come out and take down Atlanta FaZe, well, then Ravens already know they have that confidence they can take down Ultra. But at the same time, if it's FaZe that ends up come out and winning, I don't know, man. I'm looking at a couple of those rookies dropping like triple negative on the final maps, a couple of those struggles. I think if FaZe is the team that matches up, FaZe takes them down.
And let's think about it like this. If FaZe make this run, they're going to be off like 3 straight matches, just ready to go. So, yeah, I think if you're London Royal Ravens, you're sitting there like, Ultra, please win this series.
They're definitely going to want a rematch. All right, coming up next, we're going to have Atlanta FaZe versus Toronto Ultra. You won't be on the desk for that one, but if you were to make a prediction, what do you have winning that? Okay, I think I can reach them out on this one. Atlanta FaZe looks damn scary, man.
Yes, they do. Atlanta FaZe looks scary. I still think they have great odds of winning the entire thing, especially get up the hot hand. Like, you missed your chance to take him down. They reverse swept LA Thieves, and I think after that, like, it's just going to be so tough to try to stop him again.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the first series of the day. But coming up next, we have more bangers to put up on that main stage. Toronto Ultra versus the Atlanta FaZe. We'll see you guys on the other side.